Hello, welcome to an exciting field of financial planning. At GoPast, we have been doing training on various modules: marketing management, strategic management, leadership, communication, motivation. One of my most favorite topics is financial planning. The need for formal education in the society has been stressed by wise men across the centuries in this country. 21 centuries before, Saint Tiruluvar said that as much you dig deeper into the land, you get more water. The same way, the more the person gets educated, he becomes wiser and knowledgeable. One century later followed a great lady by name Abayar, who says that if even a person has to avail financial help to get his education, he should still pursue education after availing financial help. Post-independence, we had a great chief minister in the form of Peruntalaivar Kamaraj. He understood the need of education in the society and its connect to the sovereignty of the country. That is why, within the 3 terms he served, he created as many as 18,000 schools. His main idea was that every village must have a primary school and every taluk headquarters must have one middle school at least. There should not be any children who are away 3 miles from an educational institution. Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. His attachment to education is what has brought him so close to students and teachers. Formal education in India has been educating people in terms of history, geography, languages, science and arts. Somehow, one of the most important aspects of life, finance, is missing in our academia. We need formal education in this area. Finance is a very integral part of life, be it professionals or corporates or individuals and families. You will find at the startup level, most of the professionals and the corporates, they plunge into the business with a lot of passion, they got goals to reach, they are highly motivated, and to have resources to meet out those goals, they need finance. In the beginning, they have unlimited passion and limited finance. Over a period of time, if the finance is not properly handled, then this resource exhausts itself. After some time, the passion levels also come down. Same thing with individuals and families. They carry dreams, and to fulfill those needs, they need resources. To fulfill those dreams, they need resources. And one of the major resource provider is finance. And if it's not properly handled, then probably the dreams have to be compromised and brought to levels which the finance will provide them for. Let's look at this. A person works to produce cash, money. After spending a part of it, he buys assets. Over a period of time, these assets produce cash to meet out the needs and the wants of the family members. This is called as a cash-to-cash cycle. If we look deeper into this, we now understand assets are just a passing cloud in the whole scenario. They are relevant only to their extent of producing cash to meet out the needs and the wants. If a person can understand it, then the selection of assets will be more rational and logical in nature rather than emotional and sentimental. This cash-to-cash cycle therefore introduces a concept of the elements of finance need to be properly handled so that the person can fulfill his needs and wants adequately. As much as there are 5 elements in nature, there are 5 basic elements in finance. The five elements of nature, as you know, is the earth, the sky, the air, the water, and the fire. And the five basic elements of finance are income, expenses, liabilities, assets, and cash flow. The details of the income and expenses can be obtained from the profit and loss account. The details of liabilities and assets can be ascertained through the balance sheet. Cash flow needs a professional planner to design for, account for, and to see that it is adequately provided. A lack of education in this area leads to mismanagement of these five elements, and which creates crisis in life. If you look back into this slide here, this shows in the life cash is the king, and this cash is to begin with created by the income of the person because he works hard. But then the earning span of a person is limited compared to his lifespan. Therefore, he must select assets which can provide the cash flow required to meet out all the liabilities, all the needs and wants of the family, irrespective of his income earning span. And that is why a study of all the five is important. Financial planning has six major phases. I call this as the wheel of wealth. If this wheel has six spokes, then we must understand all the six spokes must be equivalent. Otherwise, the wheel will refuse to move forward. The first aspect of financial planning will be risk management. We need scientific tools, predictive instruments, and then strategies to manage that risk. Insurance products are one of the major elements in risk management process. The second spokes in this wheel of wealth is cash flow design. It starts with talking about goal setting. When a person requires money, how much money he'll require, for what purpose will he require money. Having taken into consideration, the planner needs tools which will help him to design a cash flow to meet out those needs and wants. Mathematical formula working on compounding interest, the future value of money, the EMIs required when a person avails loans. What will be the effect of inflation on the expenses which he is having today? These needs have to be quantified properly, and that is the aspect where financial planning looks at goal setting, and one of the important goals is retirement planning. Retirement planning is not just an individual need. I think it's a major social need as well. Societies which have not been able to support the members after retirement have faced quite an amount of strain in governing the society. The third important aspect, which normally is considered as the heart of the planning, is in selecting the right assets. Whenever we talk to people about financial planning, the first question we're getting asked is, what is the best investment? In fact, there is nothing called as best investment. It is in the mix, and there is no standard mix. Every investment has got three dimensions: the liquidity, the safety, and the yield. You cannot alter one dimension without having the other dimensions being affected. Some assets can provide adequate liquidity. Some assets can do well on the yield side, and some assets are basically very good in terms of this safety area. Most of the time, the people in the financial services industry, they enter through one of the specialized areas. For example, some people start off as insurance advisors, agents, consultants. Some start off as mutual fund advisors, consultants. Some as small savings agents. Some people who canvass bank deposits. Some into the equity market area. Unless these professionals are able to understand the link between the other class of assets, they may not be able to provide a correct solution to the customer. They will not be able to design a correct mix to these people. You would have heard of the story, the statement, an apple a day keeps a doctor away. But that does not mean an apple alone will be sufficient. Can we consume apple for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for months? Just because apple is nutritious? No. We need carbohydrate from rice, say. We need fibers from certain vegetables. It has to be a mix. The same thing happens in finance also. A person who is able to understand the connection between all the assets will be able to provide a correct asset allocation to the customer. As far as the planner is concerned, he may not have any attachment to a particular asset. In fact, his attachment will be towards the goals of his clients. He will recommend appropriate mix of assets so that the goals of the customer can be met with. The fourth spokes in this wheel talks about the tax effects. There are certain tax concessions which can be availed to enhance the yield. There are certain tax effects which need to be considered so that the yield is reduced appropriately to give the net cash flow required to the customer. With the number of amendments which keep on happening to these tax laws, the financial professional need to stay updated on this area so that he will be able to appropriately advise the customer, and not only just advise at the beginning, but stay with the customer for a period of time and effect corrections if wherever required. Look at the fifth aspect. The wealth generated by one generation should transit into the next generation very smoothly. But you will find it doesn't happen so in many families. The ambiguities left in this succession creates friction. The inheritors who were well bound together suddenly find these small disputes are creating cracks in their relationship. A financial planner will be able to show legal provisions which can transfer this wealth from one generation to another generation smoothly, effectively, and exactly in the manner which the person who created the asset wanted. Look at the sixth aspect in the financial, in this wheel of wealth. We need to give back something to society. We have availed so much from the society, and this giving back to the society has to be properly designed so that no future law will be able to snatch it away from the society. Therefore, the 6 areas where we will be focusing in financial planning is risk management, goal setting, which includes retirement planning, investment planning, which takes care of asset allocation, tax planning, which considers the effects of the tax, successions and inheritors being adequately provided and correctly provided through estate planning, and our duty to the society, that is the ultimate purpose of money in distributing to the society. Go past is venturing into this area of financial planning only to provide this formal educational support to the people in the financial industry, services industry, so that they can advise their customers, offer consultancy to them, and support them so that the clients will be able to reach their goals. Now, in the process of this education, we have set certain objectives for this course. There are two objectives to this course. The primary objective is that the participant will be in a position to analyze the financial status of the prospect, identify the goals, latent as well as articulated, and draw a suitable financial plan to aid the prospect in realizing his goals using financial instruments. Incidentally, he or she should qualify for the certification. Without this formal education, we may not be able to advise the customer, the client, appropriately. Our advice should be both authenticated and valid. It is possible only through a formal education process. It takes about 150 hours of training to impart this education. There are certain value additions which has been looked into as a part of this course. The academical input which we get in terms of designing the financial planning needs certain marketing strategies to take it to the customer. As a value addition, the sales process, starting from prospecting, approaching the customer, understanding the needs of the customer, devising an appropriate mix, and ultimately motivating the customer to execute the financial plan, will be one of the value additions of this course. At times, we are required to make group presentations. If we have got templates ready for such group presentations, without wasting much time, we'll be able to grab those opportunities. The modern society in the market is well versed with technology. The financial professionals, therefore, should also use this mobile wireless technology and laptops to match out those requirements. There are certain special fine-tuned area which we'll be addressing during these value addition course in financial planning. Financial planning is a subject which keeps moving in terms of knowledge updations quite fast. Therefore, we will form an alumnus and provide updates in aspects related to tax, trends in the global market, etc., so that we will be able to advise and support the client appropriately. Of course, the whole thing comes with a library with a vast collection of books available for free reference. I strongly believe in one thing. If the citizens of the country can become wealthy, then the country can become wealthy. And to make these people wealthy, the financial advisors need knowledge and even wisdom to support them appropriately. It's a very small endeavor from our side to provide this education either through a certified financial planning modules or through a FCHP module. You know how to contact me and our office, www.gopass.com or the phone number 98414-31767. Welcome to an exciting world of financial planning.